South Dakota residents will vote on whether or not to establish a right to abortion in the state constitution come November 5th. Amendment G is one of 4 constitutional amendments people are voting on. KELOLAND's Julia Lynn shares both sides of Amendment G and their thoughts on how it would impact South Dakota women.
2 women who've practiced medicine in South Dakota explain why residents should and shouldn't vote for Amendment G. Dr. Amy Kelly, a Sioux Falls OBGYN who supports Amendment G, shares her view on how the current law impacts her job.
The vagueness of that law has really put myself and other OBGYNs and healthcare providers who take care of pregnant women in a sticky spot because no one has on their forehead when something goes from being just bad to life-threatening.
On the opposition with the Life Defense Fund, Dr. Patty Giebink says people shouldn't vote for G because the way it's worded is too vague.
Under this amendment, it says there can be no regulations, none, 0. It really doesn't prohibit anything, and I think this amendment is too extreme. I think that South Dakota can do better. If we want to make exceptions, we can do that through the legislature.
Currently under South Dakota law, quote, unless there is an appropriate and reasonable medical judgment that performance of an abortion is necessary to preserve the life of the pregnant female is guilty of a Class 6 felony. One point discussed was how the current workforce in maternity care looks after Roe v. Wade was overturned and South Dakota's trigger law that banned abortions in 2022.
Prior to the ban, there's been a decline in obstetrical care, obstetrical even wards in rural counties in the United States. So it's been an ongoing problem.
Yep.
And I don't know anybody who has qualms about coming to South Dakota because 93% of OBGYNs do not do abortions.
However, Kelly believes the current law makes South Dakota look unfavorable for those doctors.
We can't get a new IVF doctor here because no one wants to work in a state with an abortion ban. So this unfortunately doesn't just affect women who are pregnant now. It affects women who want to be pregnant. It affects all women.
Julia Lynn, KELOLAND News.
In addition, even if Amendment G passes in November, it may not take effect due to the Life Defense Fund lawsuit. The organization is suing South Dakotans for Health for invalid petition signatures. The trial is set for December. In our latest poll, KELOLAND News teamed up with Emerson College and The Hill to conduct a poll of 825 likely South Dakota voters, and here are the results from that. We asked people whether they would vote yes or no on Amendment G, which would establish a right to abortion in the state constitution. And as you can see, 45% said yes, 48% said no, and 7% were unsure. Our poll's margin of error is plus or minus 3.5%.